Fighting for something and working for something are completely different concepts. When you're fighting for something, it's like you're trying to put superficial stitches all around it to hold this thing that's going to eventually burst apart. Versus when you're working for something, it's like you're suturing it in together from the root so that it's anchored so that you can build outwardly, but you know that it's not going anywhere. When I see people say, I'm fighting for something or fight for it, you gotta fight for your relationship. No, you don't. Fighting for me means that there's always gonna be some type of distress, reactiveness, combative resistance, something that we're always going to have to come up against because there's some deep-seated, rooted issues, not in us, but in other people and parts of us, right? A lot of people who are fighting for something look like they want to be with somebody, but their family and friends don't like them and all this other stuff. And again, I'm not saying that you can't trust your family and friends, but if you see that your family and friends have dysfunction all throughout their life, I would not take their advice as sole advice, right? If they are functional, healthy people in your life and they're saying they don't like them, then I would say, yeah, find the red flags and understand how to see what they see, right? But I'm not going to keep going into situations with anybody where if I bring my all and all they bring is conflict, if I speak and they hear conflict, if I do anything or move, they see conflict. That is fighting for a relationship that has no chance. That's not for me. Working together means, yes, we're going to have things that we don't agree on, but we understand that it's a collaboration. We understand that we are working together to make this thing that we want together, a vision that we both see. The end goal is this. I come from a place where I didn't receive this. You come from a place where you didn't receive that. That is the foundation of most relationships, to be honest, okay? But if you're healthy, you can say, but I'm not going to pull my baggage into ours, and you're not going to pull yours in. We see it, we recognize it, we help each other organize it, and then we create our own path so that we're doing this together. That's working together, right? It feels way more releasing, it feels lighter, it's healthier because you know that on the other end, there's balance. You can say that I can trust this person. When we're talking about these relationships, and again, I love that this Love Island USA is really just getting everybody talking because people have for so long been taking love as here's how it looks on the outside to everyone else versus real genuine moments of what love and taking care of a partner looks like and then how that person gets to feel. When they were talking about the braiding hair situation with Cordell and Serena, people don't understand that intimacy of feeling like this is a struggle that I deal with all the time, not because it's difficult, but because it takes a lot of work to always make yourself look presentable as far as constantly plucking and twirling and braiding and shaving and this or that. And now I have this other person who wants to help take care of that with me. Doesn't that feel sexy and feel good? You can just relax and they know what to do. I don't have to explain it to them or anything else. Or it's when someone takes the time to empathize with who you are versus sympathize. A lot of people in relationships, they love to find ways to sympathize with somebody else who's always constantly fighting and difficult and wanting to pull them down. Don't if you don't recognize what empathy is, then yes, you're going to sympathize with that person who's always, save me, Captain Save-A-Ho. No, I'm not fighting for anybody. No, if you don't know how to pick yourself up and walk through that door and figure out things that you're doing to pull yourself down into that hole, I am not going to keep breaking my back pulling you out. That's not who I am. I am definitely going to work with you. I've said it before. I will put the ladder down in the hole. I will talk you through the darkness if you can't see. I will get you light if you need some, but I'm not going back down into that hole unless your leg is definitely broke and I definitely love you, and that's the only way I'm going to be willing to might come down that way. But again, I have to see that you got the mindset and the emotional capability to when you get back to physical health or to a place of physical whatever, that you'll be able to just hit the ground running. I ain't got to keep teaching you nothing. Because what we're not going to do in these big old grown bodies of ours is keep sitting around trying to wait for people to heal themselves. When I tell people they're not healed, everyone gets all offended. Oh, you're just... And you're not healed. You ain't gonna keep bleeding out on me and then wondering why. I'm like, listen, this is wet and slippery and messy, and as much as I keep helping you, you keep crawling out the bed and pulling off the wounds and bleeding everywhere. I'm not gonna keep wrapping you up and talking you to bed every night. That's exhausting. Eventually, I'm gonna strap you to that bed. I'm flashing back to working in the hospital. You have to understand, it's really hard to help people who don't want to be helped. Do you understand that is the biggest point of being in the hospital? It's like they got themselves there somehow, some way. May it be unfortunate. I'm not saying everybody's there because of their own doing, but I'm saying a majority of the people are there through dietary, lifestyle, other things where they could have avoided it a little bit. And now they're there, and now people have to help them, and they mad at the people helping them. You always coming in here picking and poking. Well, you always in the hole. Get out the hole. go winning, right? So that's why I say you got to know what type of relationships you're calling in. It starts with you. If every time, and this is what it looks like, and this is how I help myself figure it out. If any time I speak and it's something that I am genuinely just excited about, and someone around me just instantly starts just digging at it and pulling and picking it apart, I know that that's resistance energy. That's a fighting. That's a person who's fighting everything around them. No, nothing against them. I'm not even saying you can't be their friend. I just don't share with them anymore. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna fight everything because they're fighting themselves. Now, if I share something with someone that I'm going through, and they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. You know what did you do? And I'm like, I haven't thought of anything to do yet. Oh man, well, I have a solution, or there's something that I think might help. What is it? And then I can be like, yes. And now I feel like you're empathizing with me. I feel like you're working with me. We're collaborating. I'm learning from you. Even if it's not the end result, or if I don't follow what you say to a T, at least you got the ball rolling with me, right? This is the type of energy that I want to integrate with. These are the type of people that I call in. So it's then, if you're in relationships, you don't want to keep going into relationships trying to make it work by fighting someone. You make it work by collaboration. When you see that you know that you're bringing things to the table that someone can't handle, pull back a little. Don't dump it all at once and say, see, I knew you couldn't handle it. No one can. And even if they could, it takes some time to sort through it. So while they're over there sorting through all your crap, and you're on the other side saying, see, they couldn't make it through. They couldn't handle me. No, they're on the other side trying to organize all the stuff that you just threw at them because their space is so clean that they're not used to it. So sometimes it takes people time to work through stuff, right? Sometimes you have to have empathy itself. And remember, I have all this stuff. I have learned how to deal with my stuff. So if I bring anything to the table, I don't expect anyone to take all of my stuff on. If they can handle it, that's beautiful. That's what makes it attractive. That's what makes it an equal collaboration and team that you say, okay, now when we talk about soulmates and all this stuff, and I always apply it that way, twin flame, again, they're not bad relationships, but it's constant. Something's fighting. Something's runner and chaser. There's always some type of push and pull. You both could be growing. You both can like each other. It doesn't matter. It's too much conflict around you that it's not worth it. I'm sorry. You're a beautiful person, but it's not worth it. Soulmates are like, listen, I got some deep-seated stuff too, but I know that I am solid and balanced, and I can still give you stability on the outside, but there's going to be times when emotionally I got to go in and still fix some stuff. Can you still hold space while I'm here? And say, yeah, we're anchored. We're in. I got you. Go do you. I'll still be here holding my space because when I go out, I know that I'm anchored in with you. That's a soulmate team. That's why people are understanding now more and more and more when they talk about, again, when we say depression, anxiety, and loneliness, I feel we're talking about the soul. I don't care what anybody else says. I know there's medical stuff that humans want to do and give it a name for, that's fine. On the esocentric level, when I feel depression, anxiety, I have identified that as my soul, which is Jah, and Jah is the one who gives me information. That's why I say EQ with Jah, because it's teaching me, my soul is teaching me, the physical avatar, who I am by way of experience through things that I see and empathize with others and say, wow, okay, I get it now, right? When I've been able to do that, then when I see someone who's always fighting, and I see either you're a fighter and you're willing and you want to be empathized with, and I can say I can empathize with that person. That person that's on the precipice of breaking through, I can take time to hold space for them to catch up. Because I'm like, they're right there. I'm not going to close the door on them. That's so distressing when you do all that work and make it and the door is closed, right? So I am that person where I'm like, I see you're about to make it. I'm gonna leave this door open, but this door opens only for one moment because once you get on this side, it's all about doing the work. It's about showing up. It's about not making excuses. It's understanding that yes, sometimes you're gonna need a hug, you're gonna have a hug, but I'm gonna still need you to know how to keep going because this is life. Life is not gonna stop for us. Yes, we can sit back and enjoy it as much as we need to, but we still have to keep functioning with it because once we stop utilizing ourselves, life stops utilizing us. So, I'm not fighting with nobody for the rest of my life, but I will work with someone. Love ya.